Hey my beautiful N squad, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Nandi. If you don't know, now you know, so subscribe. And if you're regular, thank you so much for tuning right back in, baby. I really do appreciate all the love and the support so far, guys. In today's video, we're doing something a little bit different. I'm not gonna waffle a lot. I'm gonna get straight into the video.
I gotta say a word, keep getting me what I'm looking for. I just gotta tell everybody, I don't wanna keep it on the low. Goddamn, I love them. I love them. Goddamn, I love them. I love them.
Yep. This has become a very requested video, and it was one of my most popular videos on my channel from the time I arrived in Poland. And this is basically an ultimate guide to life in Poland video. So this is for all my babies who are trying to come from whichever part of the world to come and live in Poland and to come and study or to work. This is just going to be like an outline of the things that you need to know about the process, what you're going to need, what you need to expect. Because I've been bumping to a lot of my subscribers and they're so grateful to say, like, when they look on YouTube, there's a breach in content about places like Poland, for example. So it's really motivated me to like extend a big sister hand to anyone who's gonna need it. I basically didn't ask questions because it's like last time I asked as well, so I'm just gonna use the same questions and just add on to just give the video more flesh and more insight with like the current updates about how you go through your visa process, how you apply to varsities, how you get accommodation. So you know, all the bits and bobs that are gonna help your stay in Poland to be super easy. So I've just like put everything in my iPad, and I'm just gonna be glancing at my iPad, so don't mind that, so that I can just make sure that I'm hammering every single thing, you know. So let's get straight into the video. Let me just open up my notes real quick. The first thing with life in Poland and how to get here is the application process. So a lot of people are asking, how do you apply to come and be a student or to work in Poland? I'll speak mainly about being a student because I didn't apply under work, but it should be like a very similar process. So the first step is obviously to get an agent. This is something that I'd highly recommend because it makes your process very seamless and it makes it very easy for you to keep track of deadlines, to keep track of emails that are just coming through. Unless you're a person who's very independent and you trust in yourself to be able to do an application process from A to Z without any support, then it's okay, you can do that. But for all those that are interested in obviously using an agent, I can obviously recommend you to the agent that I used. So the application process first is using an agent. You need to know what you want to study, and you can possibly look into varsities that are here in Poland. So Poland has got like multiple cities, but the capital of Poland is Warszawa, which is Warsaw, which is the city that I am based in. And I highly recommend a lot of people come here because this is the city where there's a lot of life, if I could say. And if you're looking to be able to work and go to school, this is the most convenient city to be in, because then you're able to apply, you're able to balance work and school in the long run after you've settled in. So I highly do recommend. And there's also Lublin. A lot of people go to Lublin because they want to study maybe nursing, or it's an easier option in terms of being admitted into like a varsity. An agent, they basically go through the whole application process with you because you are paying this person to basically give you an easier way to apply. So you can look into varsities, for example, and this is also something that the agent assists with as well. They give you clarity on what varsities are available and which ones have like higher intake and the requirements for the varsities in terms of like acceptance. And they also give you insight to say like what programs can you study at the varsity, because not every university offers what you as a person is looking for. So the first step is to get an agent and start the application process. When you start the application process, a lot of you could possibly be wondering to say, how many A-levels do I need? Can I come to Poland with O-levels? I'm not very sure if you can come on O-levels, but if you're coming with A-level, you definitely need 3, but some varsities make exception for 2 A-levels, but it's safer just to have 3, so you guys better study. For those who are doing Cambridge, it's still the same as just basically having your A-levels, and then for those who wrote in Zimsek, you need to get a Polish recognition or nostrification online on the new Polish system which they have. And for those that are doing Cambridge, you don't need to nostrify because you're doing Cambridge, you know. This is like an international thing. The most important as of now is for all applicants to have an English certificate from a board like IELTS or similar. So I'm reading this message specifically from my agent that I used because I'm obviously trying to make sure I can help as many people as I can to also be able to get a chance to study abroad, right? So yeah, that's what you basically need to apply. And when you apply, you're definitely going to go through to the embassy. They're going to obviously submit all the documents that you have, the nostrified documents. All details will be provided to you by the agent. So you've got nothing to worry about. All you have to do is submit and wait on your decision from the embassy in Pretoria. Let me shed more light also on the application process as well. So most times there's a portal which opens within a specific time frame, and you're given a date to say the portal opens on this particular day. I don't know if that's still the method that they use, but if that is the method that they use, you're able to apply to get a date for your visa through the portal. So the portal like literally has a time frame, so you need to make sure that you're very quick with it because this is a timed thing and it can close before you get a date. So you need to be very strategic. But what I did when I was actually getting mine was the fact that my agent was applying for my date. I was also looking for my date, and my older brother was also looking for my date. That's the portal aspect of the application process. Once you have a visa date, life becomes smooth from here onwards. I promise you, we can breathe. This is when you now know to say, okay, we're like one step closer to the road to being in Poland. Okay, so that's the visa process in a nutshell. I don't know, you guys can let me know in the comments if you want to hear more about the visa process, but it's quite a straightforward process. And obviously once you go to the embassy and you submit your documentation, I think you should get like a response in about 2 weeks if it's approved or denied. I don't know if that's still the duration now because it's very swamped, and I'm hearing that it's becoming very difficult to get a visa to actually leave. But you're going to definitely get some form of clarity from the embassy itself. Now, let's move on to housing and accommodation. Once you come to Poland, where are you going to stay? You're definitely not staying under a bridge, my doll. You are not doing that. So don't worry, I got you covered because Zebra Curbs is literally your plug for this. I'm going to pop the Instagram page on the screen. This is a housing agency that basically helps you find a comfortable living space, be it a shared apartment, be it your own apartment. And it's so convenient because then you don't have to worry about like looking for a place on your own and communicating with landlords. All of this is done for you through an agent as well. This person literally will help you find a place, and you'll be able to go for some viewings and see if you like the place. Even before you come to Poland, they have an online website which shows you a virtual view in 3D of the apartment. So you're able to literally feel as though you're presently in the apartment to view it for yourself, even when you're still back home. This is such an amazing experience. And when I tell you to say, these are the best people you could use to get accommodation. So that's on housing and accommodation. And what essentials are we packing in our bag when we're coming to Poland? This is very crucial because there's so many things that I wish I had been told when I was actually like preparing to come here, which I wasn't told. Telling you guys, pack only what you need. What you do not need, I beg you, please leave it because you are literally going to waste a lot of luggage space. So stuff like maybe also packing your favorite snacks from home, which you're not going to find when you get here, because when you get here, your body is adjusting to new food. That's what you need to understand. So for you to have a very smooth transition into like the Polish snacks or your comfort food, it will be very convenient for you to pack things that you like from home so that you can mix and match as you still try to figure out the foods that you like here. Because when you get here, like your body is going to definitely experience a lot of bloating from the food because you're not used to the food here, if that makes sense. So definitely your Cervitas, your Mazoes for my Zimbabweans, your Roycos, things that you basically enjoy. And also most of all for the girlies, your skincare and your hair products. You're going to need these because people will literally put a lot of markup on these products because they are scarce and they do not have them here. So even stuff like your braiding hair for the girlies. If you're a girl who likes to do your hair and you always like to have your hair braided, bring your braids with you so that within the first 3 to 4 months of you getting here, you're not trying to start buying things at a high tip that I'm giving you from someone who's now like here and seeing the cost of like products from your own country. And if you don't don't stress yourself too much, because when you do get here, there is stuff like the African store. They basically sell all the necessities that you're gonna need. And also, like, there's group chats which advertise people who have the products from your country, so they have you covered there. So yeah. And another thing is, there's obviously multiple things that I wish I knew before I actually came to Poland. So I'm just gonna hammer on a few which I can think of at the top of my head. And the first thing is the fact that majority of the people in this country do not speak English. So if you've got the opportunity to try and be learning a bit of Polish, I advise you do. It's a very, very difficult language, but it's not impossible to learn. So I wish I had been told that earlier. So you're gonna get to a country where people don't really speak English, so settling in is gonna be a bit difficult if you don't really know so many people, but that shouldn't make you scared, because there's always someone who's willing to help. So yeah, that's the first thing. Second thing I wish I had also known is the fact that it's so big. It is a very, very big country as a whole, but even the cities, like the destinations, it just really depends. But Warsaw in particular has like this, like from my house even to varsity is 30 minutes by public transport. So you know, those kind of distances can be a bit scary. So I wish I had known that earlier. And the other essential things to have as well is just like power bank. Guys, always have a power bank. When I first got here, I would get lost because my phone would go off and I had no power. I'll still talk about the cost of living. In terms of housing, it's not that bad, guys. Poland is actually relatively quite comfortable in terms of pricing. Like, even if you start working, you can definitely take care of yourself. This is the most reassuring thing you can hear, because it's like not everyone comes from a point of privilege where they'll be able to have their parents take care of them for the whole entire duration of their study. But if you get a job, you are able to take care of yourself. Like, you can pay your rent and you can definitely afford to pay for your food. So for rentals, there's obviously three types of housing: either a 1-bedroom apartment, a studio apartment, or a shared apartment. Shared is where you live with other people. Studio is where you basically have your kitchen in the same environment as your room, and then a 1-bedroom is where you have a room separate to a lounge. So obviously 1-bedroom is the most expensive option. This is something that ranges maybe from like 4,000 going up, and then a studio apartment is like maybe from 2.5 going up, and then a shared apartment is basically like 1.8 going up. I don't think there's shared apartments which are less than that now. If there is, they're probably not in the best condition or very small. But what do I recommend? If you're coming here for the first time, I see no harm in staying with people. If you're not a person who doesn't mind, I think it's perfectly fine, because it teaches a lot of character development. I've seen it for myself. I've been living in Poland for 2 years now, and I've been staying in the same space. I'm not a person who really struggles to live around people or to coexist, rather. But if you are a person who struggles to coexist, obviously I would recommend you get your own space just for your own comfortability. Also, this just goes with your budget and your parents' budget as a whole. But I also do recommend living with people, because when you're first getting here, it's like that shift from a comfortable home background to living alone. It's a very big shift. You're definitely gonna need people in this life thing, but it's also okay to navigate life on your own. So whichever works for you is the best. And in terms of groceries, you can literally live on 1,000 zlotys for a month. That just really depends on your consumption as a person, and if you eat a lot, if you eat out a lot as well, that also obviously has an impact, because if you're ordering out, it's more expensive than cooking, you know. But for 1,000 zlotys for a start, when you're settling in, you should live on a budget. Don't come and start splashing when you haven't yet studied what the environment is like. I'm speaking, but I eat out a lot. I'm very guilty, but 1,000 should be more than enough. So this is just for rough calculations. Tuition for my varsity for the program that I'm studying, it's like 1,950 euros per semester, but you have to pay for a full year before you come. So this is like 8,000 something Polish zlotys per semester. And this is for business management. Obviously, every faculty probably has a different pricing. But this is just an outline, and I really hope that this video is super helpful to you guys. Please feel free to like leave questions in the comments, and just to comment if you enjoyed the video as well. And I really hope that this ultimate guideline to life in Poland was super helpful for all my babies that are trying to come. And I really do appreciate all the love and support, and thank you so much for tuning in.
On the low, goddamn, I love. I love. Goddamn, I love.